Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining another amazing marketing podcast. So, today's topic is going to be all about cyber attacks and how can we prevent them and what can you do to actually prevent that. You know what's wild? Like most marketing teams don't realize the role that they play in cybersecurity. And we are really the ones that are in the front of all these cyber attacks. And it's our job to really protect the brands that we represent. So that's going to be today's topic in the Right Marketing podcast. So buckle up and let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So first things first, let me make sure I'm sharing this right. There you go. Okay. So, when we're thinking about marketing and we're thinking about cybersecurity, we are usually just focused on ROI, which is great. We're thinking getting all of these results for our clients, building the brand positioning, and getting that trust from our clients, of course, as marketers, or if you are a marketing director or marketing manager working for a specific company, you're looking to build that trust and get that trust from your peers, but also from the users, consumers, or customers that are engaging with your brand, right? So getting that trust is very difficult. It's earned, really. If you're running paid ads, using any type of AI tools, or collecting any type of leads, you are sitting in a vast amount of data. And guess what hackers are looking for? Yes, data, exactly. So it's like you're in this gold mine of data. And they don't really care what kind of company you are. In fact, the more complex your industry is, like let's say if you are a retail shop versus a hospital, which one do you think is going to have more data that the hackers will care more, right? So the more important the data is, the more you have to really protect yourself. However, a lot of times we think that because our information or our type of business is not, a hospital, we don't really think that they're going to care so much about us. It's kind of contradictory, I hear you. But what happens is that if you don't make it your job to be protected from these cyber attacks, you're opening the door for them to get access not only to your information, but to your client's information. And that door opens the door to even more information, because that's kind of how they start crawling the data and getting it gets even more and more dangerous. And I'm getting ahead, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Here's the thing. Cybersecurity is not an IT job anymore, right? I mean, it is, of course, but it's not only IT. You need to really focus that as a marketer, cybersecurity is also your responsibility. So, like I mentioned, trust is earned, and it's really difficult to build that trust. It takes years to really build that trust from your customers, right? And here's what happens. When one little mistake happens, when one account gets hacked or one of your customer data leaks, your trust goes like this. It's easily lost. Today, I'm going to walk you through one of the, what are the biggest threats. So we're going to do a quick overview, because this is a topic that I talked about in the past. I talked about all the different types of cyber attacks. Make sure that comment below if you haven't looked at that video yet, or that episode if you are listening this on Spotify. And I'll be happy to share that, or look at our list. You're going to find more information of more of the common threats in advertising. So I'm going to do a quick recap, but also I'm going to really focus on the number one real threat marketers face every day, and they are not really paying that much attention. And it's really this huge door that is opening your data information to all of these hackers. So first, quick recap. What are the common threats in advertising? Number one, the account hijacking. Account hijacking is really allowing that door that I'm mentioning to all of these hackers to basically get your information. And a lot of times when they do this account hijacking, they are actually sending your traffic. So the people, like your users, will look at your ad and they're going to think, oh, okay, this is like your company, right? So they click on the ad, but instead of going to your landing page, they're going to this hacker landing page. And it's going to be a lookalike landing page, and they are going to be providing all of that information to them, to the hackers, instead of to you. So that's when this account hijacking, you're losing control over all of your ad campaigns. And they are, and this, of course, will potentially lead to a reputational damage, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Number 2 common threat is phishing scams. So you see, when somebody hacks your account and they're able to collect all of the email addresses or all of this information, they're going to start like posing as you. I mean, how many times have we received? I mean, at least I receive at least 1 or 2 of those emails a day, right? So how many times have you received emails where they are posing as sending you a Google Drive or sending you a DocuSign, sending you like, oh, your Microsoft account 365 needs payment, whatever. Click this link to pay your account, otherwise you're going to lose it. Like, those are all phishing scams. It's a hacker posing as you or as another company and asking you to click or do something so that they can steal your information, either the login information for the Microsoft account or the bank account or anything like that. Now, another one is the ad frauds. Ad frauds are different type of techniques from your ad budget that's going to drain your budget. So this is more like stealing information from, stealing money from you specifically. So they are going to hijack your account, and you're going to look at it as if you are actually spending money on your ads, and you're wondering why you're not getting any ROI, why is your ad not working? But in reality, all that money, like, you're just giving it to them, right? And then one of the biggest one as well, I think the one that causes the most damage is data breaches, right? Because data breaches exposes all kinds of information, not only yours, but really exposing sensitive customer data, impacting not only, of course, your business, but also the trust of your clients. And this one is the ones that are the hardest to recover. That's why you want to make sure that, cybersecurity is ingrained in your strategy as well. Now, data breaches for like hospitals or financial institutions or any kind of business with sensitive data, e-commerce, right? When you're putting customer credit card information, like, all of those have very sensitive information. Now, if you're thinking that just because you're collecting only email addresses from your clients, that could also open the door to data breaches, because with that email, they can start phishing, right? It kind of like goes in a loop, right? They can start phishing your customer with that email address to get that login information, and that becomes a data breach as well. So as you can see, all of these can impact your brand, impact your customer, exposes your customers to God knows what kind of hackers and what they're trying to accomplish. So the first step for you as a marketer is, of course, talk to your cybersecurity team. If you don't have a cybersecurity team, educate yourself, look for training materials, and build a secure advertising environment. So today we're going to focus on the number 1 threat that is really this, what I call the hidden epidemic, that is taking over which is the number 1, taking over like most of the hacking attacks, which is the account takeover or ad accounts takeovers. This is what I mentioned before, like the ad hijacking. So there's many ways that they can do that. And a hacker doesn't necessarily need to target your whole company. They don't necessarily have to like get access to your ad account and all of your information in your company. They can just simply hijack your ads. Literally, what that means is that if you're using or if you're running the same ad for a long time, they can copy your ad, hijack your traffic, and send this to a different landing page, like I explained earlier. And I've seen this happen with both like Meta ads and Google ads, right? And the problem is that these hackers will upload malicious ads, right? They're gonna either send people to their landing pages, especially if you're selling information, like if you're selling a product, they're going to collect their credit card information. You just imagine the amount of damage, right? They're using your brand name. They're using your brand name to either sell fake products, right? And then the customers are never receiving their products, and then they're complaining with who? With you, because they thought they placed the order to you. They can also run up your budget, like I mentioned before. If they hijack your account, they can literally deplete your ad budget and drain your account, and you don't get any ROI. They can take over your ad account and basically kick you out from your own account. Oh my God, trying to get that back, it's a pain in the ass. 52%, unfortunately, of brands have experienced some sort of account compromise, either getting their account hacked, getting their ad hijacked, getting their ad spend depleted, or some sort of like sending messages to your customers or DMs to your customers as if they were you, copying your ad account, like, or your social media profiles exactly the same and pretending to be you, right? All of this is not only affecting big corporations. And as an agency, as a marketing agency, or if you're a freelancer, if you own a small marketing agency, or if you have a small marketing team within your organization, or a complex marketing team where it's so big that like the communication even between us, between you guys, it's a little bit delayed, right? All of us, we are at risk. So we need to work together to fight this back and protect ourselves. 52% is a very large number. It's basically 1 out of 2 companies have been in one point or another compromised. Now, this reflects in way over $600 million lost yearly just due to this ad fraud. This is why I picked this one to focus on today, because it's one that is having the biggest impact. And this is only on ad fraud, right? Imagine how much more, because it's really unmeasurable how much they're getting once they actually hijack the account and once actually get access from your clients, especially if you have clients that are elderly and they are like clicking and they don't have the training. It's really hard to see. It's really painful to see, because I work also on training, especially people that are not as tech savvy, on how to protect themselves from all of this ad fraud. It's really sad to see how easily they get hijacked. But it's not only them. I mean, we also go through that as well. I mean, trust me, I've had these conversations as well with some of these hackers pretending to be, with like any kind of organization or government organization trying to get information, right? So we just have to be smart about it. Now, unfortunately, if your account gets hijacked, the taking back recovery time is usually at least on average 3 weeks, if you actually even get it back. And this affects all of the social media accounts, or if you have a CRM, also you have to take that in consideration. So Meta, Google, HubSpot, if you're using Canva, if you're using ChatGPT, even like LinkedIn, any kind of CRM, any kind of API that you have connected, every login is an open door. And I just want you to keep that in mind. So what can we actually do to prevent this? Well, I'm going to break it in 3 simple steps. These 3 simple steps can actually become like a little circle that can help you protect you from every little corner, right? The number one is the one that has, I think, the one that with the most mistakes, because unfortunately, the human layer means us, the human beings. We can't put an algorithm in our head that is going to repeatedly act the same way. Well, at least not yet. I feel like with AI and how things are progressing, very soon we're going to be able to do that. But for now, we can't. So what that means is that one of the biggest cybersecurity threats is the human error, which means phishing links, clicking on links that we're not supposed to click, downloading documents that we're not supposed to do, having weak passwords, God forbid, using the same password for every single account. And yes, if that's you, change it now, because if you're or using your personal password for also your business passwords, same thing. please change it, have a different password. You need to be able to think about how can you prevent, like imagine if they have access to one of your passwords with that email address, how many accounts you have the same login and password, like username and password. How many accounts you're using the same for, right? Just think about that. Okay, so what can you do, right, to obviously avoid that? Number one, train your team. And don't think about training once a year or once every 2-3 years. You know how as marketers, we love to change trends and we're always choosing like, oh, which one is the latest trend for video or for email marketing, for anything like that. Well, guess what? Hackers love to change trends as well. And that's why they're always changing their strategy. That's why I recommend that you at least train your team once a quarter, minimum once a quarter, on phishing attacks and social engineering. Now, like social engineering means like all the different type of attacks on your social media channels, right? Now, I know it sounds repetitive, right, Patricia? Every quarter? Yes, every quarter. Now, even if it sounds repetitive, it's going to help people remember more, right? Repetition is key. And also, it's going to help them identify them very easily because they're going to be repeating them. And you're going to be able to update the new trend. So you're going to be able to anticipate. Okay, so that's number one. Train your team every single quarter and use a password manager. Please don't use the same password everywhere. Never share your logins through any type of like Slack or email. And I know as marketers, especially if you have an agency, it's very difficult. Sometimes, like let's say my client needs to provide me with the website credentials, right? And I ask, okay, during the meeting, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need you to provide me with your website credentials. And then I receive an email with the login and password, right? With the username and the password. And how I can think of is like, okay, great. Now we're exposed. We need to actually change all of these so that we don't expose our client, right? So the education is for you, but also educating your clients on how to provide you with that password. And look, it's not perfect. Again, this is why I started with the human layer, because your clients and even your team members, they're still going to make the mistakes. They're still going to send you that email address with the password, right? And and the problem is that then people reply to that email and send it again and reply to all and send it again. So you can see what mess that creates. So make sure that you're training everybody properly and you have a password manager. There's a lot of companies out there. I don't really have a preferred company. You just look for any kind of company that can help you with your password management. All right. Next, we have the access layer. Oh my God, this is another pain. Because accessing your account, the way you access your account is going to determine your risk level, right? So in other words, unfortunately, if you don't have a two-step or multi-factor authentication, you are exposed, right? Now, every single marketing platform has a different marketing authentication process or a second step, or send a text message here with the code, right? We're all very familiar with this at this point. Now, as marketers, I know that is a pain because if your client doesn't know, like for example, right now, actually, we have this client and we need to create their business listing, or we need access to the business listing. And he doesn't know who's that code going to, because there's a phone number for the second, the two-step, and they don't recognize nowhere in the company whose that phone number is. So now you have to start a whole process, opening a ticket and going through all of that painful process. So that's why it's so important that I go back to the human layer to actually have a password management where you collect all of that information. Where's the phone number, and you kind of try to make sure that the information is available but protected, right? So turn on that painful two-step verification or multi-factor authentication for every single marketing platform. And again, don't use the same username and password. Okay, don't use it. Even if you have the two-step verification, that doesn't mean that you're protected. You still have to have a different password. Now, create also, in terms of the access layer, you need to create different roles. So, for example, what that means is that Not everybody in your company can have the same level of access. Not everybody, not all of them have to be super admins, right? That's why there's different like levels of access in the accounts. Make sure that you're using that to your advantage and protection. So give the access depending on the role of that person. And this also creates accountability, right? I recommend to giving the admin though to 2 people, right? But no more than 2 people. Because of course, if one person is on vacation or out sick or whatever, you want to make sure that you have this other person that can access as well, right? Just remember, if everybody has full access, then nobody's really truly accountable, okay? Now, let's talk about the third layer. This is where we close this circle, the platform layer. Now, here comes the tech. I need you to, now what happened is that with the platform layer, there's a little bit of a contradiction in my opinion, because you can audit all your different platforms, right? Especially if you have connected platform, and you can just make an audit. There are tools that can help you to run like quick audits, especially if you're using AI tools, if you have multiple plugins, which let's face it, we all do. If you have different type of analytics scripts set up, you can very easily review all your connected apps once a month, and be done with it. But what happened is that when you just trust that report, you still have a big chance of being exposed. Why? Because anomalies can start from day one and you are not able to catch it. So that's why I feel that you as a human need to still go in and manually check. If you're setting something up, let's say if you're setting an ad campaign, right? An ad campaign, you can set it up automatically where you receive the reports, right? So you don't necessarily have to log in and look at it. But I recommend that at least at the beginning you do, so that you can catch any anomalies early on. And that way you can protect your ad account and your ad campaigns. Because remember, it's 2 things. One is the ad account, having them access to your ad budget, to your information, but also the ad campaign, them posting like you and hijacking your traffic, right? Now, I created a simple cyber checklist for marketers specifically that you can use before launching any campaign. Just make sure that you make a comment below or send us a message or visit our website at boralagency.com and you can find the cyber checklist for marketers. Alrighty, there we have it. So those are the top 3 layers of cyber protection that can actually help you protect your brand. Now, before we end today, let's go and break some myths on the typical myths that businesses think that, they're around like cybersecurity and marketing and that they don't connect. The number one, as a marketer, you can probably think, cybersecurity is not my problem. Well, get this. Cybersecurity is no longer just an IT problem. It's part of your brand strategy. You really need to include it. Marketers manage the tools, and this could be your perspective shift that might help you really understand or focus on this, right? Marketers, we are actually managing those tools that hackers are attacking. So think about the ads, the CRMs, the website. Oh my God, a website getting hacked? What a headache, right? Your email marketing campaigns, all of that are doors that are exposing your brand to cyber attacks. So it's no longer just an IT problem or an IT responsibility. It's also your marketing team's responsibility to protect your marketing assets, right? Myth number 2, we're too small to get hacked. I hear this a lot from like small businesses or solopreneurs that they think, I'm just too small. Hackers will go after big brands like Target or, Walmart or like these big financial brands like banks and whatnot. Well, no. Hackers actually also prefer small teams because guess what? They think they're too small to get hacked. So they don't have the cybersecurity protocols set up. Either they're using the same password for everything, they're using the same user login or email for every single account. They don't have the 2-step verification set up on every social media platform. So they're faster to breach. And get this, because you don't have a cybersecurity protocol in place, you're slower to respond to, exposing your data and your customers to a longer period of time where the hackers are accessing your data. So as you can see, being small doesn't mean that you're not going to be hacked. In fact, a lot of the small businesses' websites are the ones that are hacked the most because they don't have any cybersecurity installed. And I think this is why one of the main reasons why Google actually blocks websites that they don't have the SSL or the security certificate in place, right? You want to make sure that you have at least the minimum protection. Another one, I use the Google Authenticator, so I'm good. I don't need to set up second step or whatever for every single platform. Look, Google Authenticator is great and it helps, yes, but the multi-factor authenticator helps you not only protect every single platform, like kind of like in little silos, that way they're not connected with each other, but it also helps you kind of like audit different accounts as you go through. So the Google Authenticator can only help you so much, but you can still be bridged individually for all of these different platforms as well. So just keep that in mind. And then the last one is that, well, if something happens, I'm just going to use Meta or Google. It's going to be faster, it's going to be cheaper. They're going to be able to like just fix it up and be done. Well, yeah, you may be able to get access to your Google account again and your Facebook account again if it gets hacked, right? No, I mean, obviously, yes, that's how you're going to get your account back. But you're forgetting about the main issue here is that you are going to hurt your brand and you're going to lose the trust from your customers. And getting that back can take months and sometimes even years. So please keep that in mind. It's not only about getting your account back, it's really about protecting your brand positioning as well. And if there's anybody that is investing a lot of money on marketing positioning, you know how hard it is to get. All right, well, that's it for today's episode in the Right Marketing Podcast. We explore why cybersecurity is not just an IT problem, but it's really part of your marketing, and it has to be part of your marketing strategy as well. Remember, every login, every ad account, every social media platform, every automation tool, it's a doorway to any kind of malicious attack. And protecting that doorway means that you're protecting your brand's most valuable asset, which is trust. With trust, conversion increases. With more conversion, more ROI to your business. Now, if this episode opened your eyes in any way to the risk, make sure that you share and that you are able to like this or subscribe to our channel to hear more content similar to this. And if you are looking for the cybersecurity checklist for marketers, make sure that you comment that below. And that's it for today. Make sure you share it, send it to your team, or drop me a comment. And until next time, we're going to keep making marketing moves that drives ROI. Thank you all for joining. Bye.